Noting papers allow the DSB to raise issues and provide information to participants, distinct from the formal consultation process via decision proposals. This is a summary of Noting Paper 359, Deceptive Patterns Health Check, Next Steps. In February 2024, the Data Standards Body, DSB, engaged the University of South Australia's Australian Research Centre for Interactive and Virtual Environments, IVE, to provide a report. The report was to describe dark patterns and their potential harms in the context of the Consumer Data Right, CDR. The audience was non-technical. The report aimed to provide an understanding of the current and emerging state of deceptive patterns and how those patterns could be described and categorized. It was intended to provide advice to the Data Standards Chair regarding the potential risks of deceptive patterns. For the first University of South Australia report, see Noting Paper 355. NP 359 includes as attachments the second University of South Australia report, Deceptive Patterns Pressure Test, Uni-SA, NP 359, Deceptive Patterns Health Check, Next Steps. DP 359 is provided for information only and does not require feedback. Deceptive Patterns Pressure Test Report. The Deceptive Patterns Pressure Test Report aims to measure the effectiveness of the Consumer Data Right at protecting both providers and consumers against the negative influence of deceptive patterns. The report used two main tests to analyse deceptive patterns with respect to CDR requirements on participants. Test 1. Test 1 involved using artificial intelligence, AI. The test employed OpenAI's GPT-4 GAI LLM. GPT, Generative Pre-trained Transformer, a form of AI that predicts the next token in a stream based on its previous training on similar streams. GAI, Generative Artificial Intelligence, aims to mimic human responses. LLM, Large Language Model, a computational model designed for natural language processing tasks. Each of the 157 deceptive patterns identified was tested against 912 standards determined by the report authors. The prompt for the AI response asked for a yes or no answer to indicate whether a consumer rule addressed the dark pattern and reduced risk. The test correlated responses and presented them in tables. Test 2. Test 2 was carried out by humans who followed workflow wireframes in the CX guidelines. They identified points where deceptive patterns could inject deception and manipulation in the workflows. Results. The report presents test results in detail. AI limitations. The report discusses the limitations of the AI test. The AI did not always have the necessary context, such as documents outside the training material. The AI did not provide information on how it determined its yes or no answer. Consequently, as the report states, there is no guarantee that responses are accurate. Test 2 detailed results. The report includes a number of sections giving details of the workflow analysis results. These indicate where and how deceptive patterns could be used. The report includes, in its screen styling section, a recommendation for mandatory CX practices. It is suggested to create mandatory WebView templates for consent workflows both for data holders and ADRs. Report conclusion. The report concludes with warnings that deceptive patterns are a CDR risk. There are suggestions on how risks might be mitigated. The report notes that deceptive patterns, particularly of the information asymmetry type, were more frequently unprotected or protected only by a guideline. Only a few, very broadly phrased guidelines offer protection. The report suggests considering more specifically phrased protections. On examining the consent workflow, the report raised concerns regarding how information is presented to the consumer or how consumer data could be hijacked in ways not intended by CDR. It suggests that these concerns could be addressed with additional directives that specifically prevent the design behaviours discussed. The report notes that data and metadata could be collected in the course of the workflow and used to modify interaction with consumers. It discusses the threat posed by AI and hyper-personalized targeting of consumers. It suggests that the data standards body should investigate what protections are offered by the CDR and by legislation outside the CDR. Next steps. The DSB Next Steps document discusses the data standards body response to the deceptive patterns reports. The DSB will conduct further analysis. This will include work to understand where compliant design may permit deceptive pattern risk in consumer choice, control, and consent management. The DSB will assess the risk of any deceptive patterns and determine if they are prohibited by CDR protections or other prohibitions on unfair trading. Conclusion. NP 359 is presented for information only. No feedback is required. If you have an interest in these topics, refer to NP 359 and its attachments for more detail. Thank you for participating in the Consumer Data Standards.